To talk today about our theme, again, this theme is called Blossom, which was picked from our Pereira, I think I said that, chapter in Colombia. And it was illustrated by Edwin Morales and is presented by Adobe. And so each chapter, of course, comes up with a little bit of description, as you can see behind me. So every blossom is an act of becoming. The quiet force of roots pushing through the dark, the slow unfurling of a bud, a sudden burst of color. But plants don't blossom on command. Each flower requires the right amount of sunlight, water, and nourishment across the cycle of the seasons. It's the same thing for creativity. Our next idea lies dormant while we fertilize our mind. With attention, protection, and space to play, our work becomes what is meant to be. Petal by petal, the passion inside us bursts into a glorious bouquet. But remember that flowers don't bloom purely for their own sake. They share their fragrance, attract pollinators, and serve the larger ecosystem. Your creativity needs to pollinate as well. So, share your gift. Spread more ideas, more beauty, and more courage. To truly blossom, you must take the risk of opening up. This is your season. You deserve to be seen. Offer your abundance of color to the world. Ask yourself, what is within me that is ready to blossom? What can I nurture to help others do the same? And to speak on our fantastic theme today, we have my good friend Kelly is going to be coming. So Kelly Krenzel is the founder, chief joymaker, hug enthusiast. I love that you added that to their bio. That's so great. And main high fiver at Hope Blooms. She leads with a blend of strategy and heart, building relationships, sprinkling gratitude like confetti, and sharing her perennial love of flowers and people. With more than a decade of nonprofit experience, Kelly has dedicated her career to lifting others up. Before planting the seeds of Hope Blooms, she worked in communications at a hospice organization where she saw firsthand how small moments of mattering can bring life in the hardest moments. That experience deeply shaped her vision for Hope Blooms and fuels her passion for making sure every person feels seen, valued, and cared for. A storyteller at heart, Kelly's background in communications and content strategy helps her weave together community and purpose. She thrives on creating spaces and experiences where joy takes root and gratitude blossoms. Kelly lives right here in Fargo with her husband, Scotty, and their two energetic boys, Henry and Finnegan, who keep life full of adventure, laughter, and importantly, impromptu dance parties. Please, let's give it up for Kelly as she comes share some words today.
Thank you. We're going to get a hug. Oh, guys, thank you so much for having me this morning. I have to tell you, when you said first day of school, I actually thought of the last day of school, junior high, maybe like 8th grade, like donning a Looney Tunes sweatshirt. Very cool. And large, long, dangly earrings from my aunt who was in her 30s. So, yeah, I've basically still tracks. But yeah, I was like, was it my favorite? It was most memorable because of the photos, I think. But thank you all so much for being here today with your big smiles and your open hearts. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to share a little bit about what lights me up. So I'm going to ask you guys to do something really simple. I'm going to ask you to think of a flower. What comes to mind? What? Orchids. Sunflower. Any others? Oh, all my favorites. So many good ones. Why that flower in particular? What did you say? It was on the screen? Yeah, it's good. Okay. Yeah, that tracks. Yeah, okay. So maybe making a memory for you. Yeah. So I have a sneaking suspicion that whatever popped into your mind perhaps has a vivid memory attached to it. Flowers have this way of rooting themselves into our lives. Being really the memory keepers, reminding us of people and places and moments that we hold dear. When I think of a flower, the first flower that immediately comes to mind is a hollyhock. And right after that, immediately flooded with fond memories of spending time with my sweet Grandma Frida in her garden. And my heart just honestly swells when those memories come back to me. That's the thing about flowers. They're not just beautiful. They are powerful. They, like I said, are the keepers of memories. They are the physical embodiment of love and can sometimes communicate things that words cannot. They show up in unexpected moments, and can brighten someone's day or, communicate a message much stronger than that. Flowers studies also show that flowers have actual benefits to your health beyond that. So they have the ability to reduce your anxiety, reduce your depression, improve your cognitive performance, and your creativity. And so in short, flowers are really magical. They also say people who spend time around flowers are 3 times happier than people who don't, which would explain a lot of things for you guys on this morning. The truth about flowers, really, our whole mission was built on the power of flowers, and just being able to see those flowers as a vessel for so much more. At Hope Blooms, we take donated flowers from around our community. That is the reason that we can exist, by so many people sharing their beautiful blooms with us. And we repurpose those flowers, give them new life and new memories. And we do this through the generous act of people sharing their time with us. Our many, many volunteers who come in and create bedside bouquets, which we go out and deliver to community members who are in need of love, encouragement, and hope. So all of our flowers go out with a simple message: you matter. There's so much power in these small, unexpected acts of kindness, and we see that every day. It's not actually right about the flowers. Of course, they cheer someone up. I don't know, I can't look at that photo. It makes me honestly just want to cry in gratitude, and also just this beautiful woman who is bedridden being visited by someone who's, receiving flowers is really a beautiful thing. So we serve many different populations in our community, but about half of who we serve are seniors, just like this beautiful woman here. So seniors living in assisted living communities, in memory care, transitional care. We also partner with just a legion of other charities doing incredible work in our community, who are supporting individuals who are going through different, stages of transition or hardship. And what that looks like is showing up for our community members. Maybe it's women in our emergency shelters, doing programming at our recovery centers. We serve both of our local cancer centers. We go into Prairie St. John's and do hands-on programming for people experiencing, a mental health crisis. Showing up in the spaces and places we can to just be that light for someone in need. So the real magic in our mission is the visit. So simply seeing someone and knocking on their door and saying, I see you and you matter. You matter today. You matter in your community. And those moments of mattering are something that can really spread, right? We see often when we go and visit places that we go and visit and knock on someone's door, and maybe we're in a senior living community, and have someone say, oh my gosh, so Claire down in room 304 could really use your message today. And I'm like, we are actually going down to see Claire. So every now and then when we knock on someone's door, we are uplifted because maybe it's their 90th birthday. Maybe the flowers that we're bringing to their door happen to spark a moment or a memory for them. Was that a flower that had special meaning? Did they used to grow that in their garden? We received lots of garden flowers. It's just really special how flowers have this beautiful way of creating this instant connection. but just simply showing up for someone in their time of need and offering whatever it is they need in that moment is really a beautiful thing. This is Lawrence, you guys. How cute is he? So we are really, the magic in our mission is that visit itself. It is us extending a moment of humanity and human connection to someone in need. We are wired for connection. It is in our DNA. And so being able to go out and spread this love is just really something that we all need. I'm kind of just going all over the place. I had a whole thing, and I'm not doing it, and so that's just fine. So anyways, I was going to have all the right keywords, and, it was going to be beautiful. But I'm just going to share a little bit about some of what we do for people like Lawrence. So we do a couple of different things, whether it's knocking on someone's door and they don't know we're coming and surprising them with a bouquet, or working hand in hand with them to create an arrangement of their own. On its face, you're probably like, oh, that's cute, or, that seems fun. And it is both of those things, but it's so much more being able to work with your hands in the spirit of creativity and, getting all the positive benefits of flowers, but also the incredible benefit of someone just creating space and time for you. And so about half of who we serve are men, and Lawrence was very apprehensive to participate in this activity. So he participated in our Flower and Power activity at a senior living community in Moorhead. And what that looks like is we bring out buckets of flowers, and we bring out maybe 10 to 15 volunteers, depending on how many participants we have, and we pair up one-on-one. And what it does is really create this beautiful, intimate moment where you just become that person's person. I don't know how else to describe it other than it just creates an instant connection. So you get to, you introduce yourself, and you really get to know someone just in the space of an hour, and, what kind of flowers they like or what kind of colors they like. So he was sitting in his doorway, and we said, Lawrence, you can't just be a looky-loo. Like, you got to come out and participate, because a lot of times I think society tells us flowers are just for women. They're absolutely not, right? And, the deeper part of our mission is just making a connection with someone in need. And so eventually, we talked him. I didn't force him, but we talked him into coming and joining us. And he comes up to the table, and he pulls out his phone. And I thought, some of you have phones out. Maybe I've lost you already, too. That's what I thought about Lawrence. Okay? I was just like, he's bored already. Was he on TikTok? Probably. I have no idea. And so he's going through his phone, and he lands on the last bouquet that he had given to his wife, Diane, before he passed away. And he said, can we make this today? And so it was really a beautiful opportunity for us to recreate that physical love that he feels for his wife, right? She had passed away shortly before they moved into this facility. They had picked out the place together and had spent decades together. And so he always got our flowers. And so for him to have the foresight to say, this is what I want to make today. And so our volunteers did their very best to recreate that love for him, to take back to his room for, a week or two or however long the flowers lasted. But the beauty in the moment with Lawrence was being able to say, tell us about Diane. What was her favorite flower? What's your favorite thing about her? How long were you married? And just really create that space and time for him. When we're visiting people, what do they need from us? We just create space to listen. We create space for hugs, so many hugs, which are my favorite. We create space for hand-holding. We create space for silence. We create space for smiles. And for Lawrence, he became a true believer in our mission that day. It's so fun because, we were able to take that bouquet back to his room, and he was able to enjoy it. And now every time we visit, we've made a new friend. If Lawrence is out at an appointment and he's heard that Hope Blooms might be there, he tells the staff, please tell Hope Blooms I say hi. I'm sorry I couldn't be there. So our visits maybe start out as strangers, but they end in friendship and true connection. And I just think, like, what's more beautiful than that, right? Creating these moments for people that we didn't have a reason to get to know Lawrence other than that he matters, right? And so being able to go out into the world and look people in the eye and just say, you matter. It's really weird because I actually feel very joyful right now. I'm sorry, my face does things that I can't control. So, it's in these moments with people like Lawrence or, the beautiful woman that I showed you before, when our true, humanity and our true reason, I believe, for existing comes to light. And so, like I said, I'm just going way off script, you guys. So I'm going to just go right ahead, keep trucking along. So really our whole mission at Hope Blooms is rooted in community. It's the reason that we exist. We are so connected. There are so many more things that we have in common than we have, than what makes us different. This beautiful woman here, this is Donna, and Donna is someone, this is an example of another Flower and Power where we went out and did a hands-on activity. Donna struggles with dementia, and we worked together side by side to create her beautiful bouquet and had the best time, and she gives the best hugs. This is like about 90% of my time with her. This is the position we were in, which was incredibly hard to clip flowers, but it meant so much to her, right? And she just kept saying, tell them Donna said thank you. Tell them Donna said thank you. And she just wanted to hold my hand and hold my face. And it was a joy explosion, right? And I was able to help Donna back to her room with her bouquet of flowers. And then afterwards I was talking to the staff and I said, oh, I had so much fun. Donna's an incredible woman, and she didn't communicate much outside of those few key phrases that she shared with me. And the staff said, Donna never smiles, and so these small acts of kindness, these small things that we can do for one another transcend words, right? They transcend, our commonplace conversations, right? I was able to share with Donna the touch of the flowers, the smell of the flowers, and create something beautiful for her that in that moment just made her beam. And so these small moments, they matter. And just like the flowers themselves, the blooms themselves, I guess, kindness blossoms when it is shared. And so when we extend a smile to someone, when we extend a reminder of mattering, when we go out of our way to do something nice for someone just because, that multiplies, right? And our whole community benefits from that, right? And kindness begets kindness. And so it really does beg the question every day, what more can we do? You don't need to have flowers. You don't need to even have any money, right? Can you hold the door for someone? Can you just look someone in the eye and smile? There was a day at the grocery store. My husband does all the grocery shopping, thank goodness, and all the cooking. And so when I go into a grocery store, I'm basically bumping into walls, and I don't know where anything is, and I get panic strikes. And I was in the cheese section. I could always find the cheese in the coffee creamer. And I was talking to this young gal, and who works there, and I was like, how's your day? And whatever, getting my cheese. And then I went on to find the coffee creamer, and she came back and she found me and she said, I just wanted to tell you thank you for saying hi. I have been working all day. I've been saying hi to people. No one has acknowledged me all day, And she was maybe 18, 19. And so I want to leave you with that, and I want to just, in closing, just have you circle back to that flower you first thought of, that flower that perhaps has a special meaning for you and just say that you can be that flower for someone else, right? You can be that moment of mattering for someone else. Because but it does take intention, right? It takes us like noticing, maybe taking 30 seconds out of our day and noticing whether it's someone we know and they're struggling, or going out of our way to, I don't know, buy the coffee creamer from, for me, if I'm behind you. That would really matter to me. But, there's a lot of small things that we can do to lift each other up every single day. And as my 9-year-old told me when I read a much different version of this presentation to him this morning, he said, "You should say, flower power!" Thank you.
Let's keep it going for Kelly one more time, everybody. That was amazing.
Thank you.
So, like I was mentioned, this is like one of our best times that we get to kind of come, and we got to hear some wonderful words from Kelly, but I want to give an opportunity to be able to share. And if you have a question, we have our friend Emma, who's going to be running around. Emma, wave your hand. So if you have a question, because we do stream this on Facebook Live as well, no pressure.
No, now I feel good.
Yeah. So we want to make sure that our online audience is able to hear your question as well. But because I have the microphone, I'm going to ask my question first, and then we're going to open it up. So Kelly, you shared a lot about, kind of your this blooming idea of like kind of how flowers and things come together. I wanted, if you could share a little bit about like, how did you define hope when you first founded Hope Blooms, and has that definition changed as things have grown like to today?
Well, that's one I haven't been asked before. So I love that. I think hope is just showing up for people in different ways. And so I would say our mission has largely remained the same from a foundational perspective. And maybe our programming has been enhanced by, we didn't always have the hands-on activity where we would take flowers out and work one-on-one. It was more of the surprise deliveries. But I think, hope is a vessel for so many things, whether that's joy or connection or just things that we look forward to, or, the light that we all need in our life. And so I think, that hasn't changed for me, like the definition of that. Great. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I love, your beads match my outfit, and I love it. I'm going to actually be forced to take that whole thing with me. Yeah, right, sorry. It's going to get weird. Yeah, no. It's going to get weird.
It's never weird when you welcome it, so it works. Awesome. So then, I want to just open it up. So if you have questions, just raise your hand, and then Emma is very quick and nimble. We'll be able to work through. Yeah. All right. And make sure you say your name first.
Hi, good morning. If we have flowers in our garden that we would love to donate, how can we go about that?
That is a wonderful question. We would be so grateful for your donation. So you just reach out to us, hopeblooms.org. We have a little donation form on our website, or you can give us a call, and we will arrange a time for you to be able to drop those off. So what that looks like is we accept garden blooms from many gardeners who, grow, cut, and come back varieties throughout the year or the growing season. But we also accept flowers from a lot of different things. It's a great question that I'll just answer in a little bit more verbose way. We accept flowers from our local grocers. So, when you go to the grocery store and the flowers are in that cellophane, if one or two flowers are bad, that was getting damaged out and thrown away before Hope Blooms. And so we're able to take all of that love, right, and have our volunteers go through them and keep the flowers that are still good. We partner with all of our area funeral homes as being a way to honor your loved ones after their passing. And then, for example, different special events. So we had a nonprofit recently who just had a gala, and they donated their arrangements to us. Or, it could be your first charitable act as a married couple to donate your flowers to us. So the flowers come to us in many different ways, and we try to be as sustainable as we can at Hope Blooms. Sustainability with soul. Yeah. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Kayla.
Hi, Kayla.
Hi. Sometimes life ebbs and flows, and it's not always feeling super hopeful. How do you refocus in times on hope to continue to be able to blossom in doing what you do?
Yeah, that is a great question. I guess my journey even into Hope Blooms it was hard, right? You know, I have 2 little boys. My oldest, which was 8 months old, and he's 9 now, when the idea came to me. And I didn't know it would be this today. I think it's just trying to just dial back and like cut out the noise for me. And sometimes it is taking a step back because, you know, spreading all this joy isn't stress-free by any means, but like being able to share the mission with people really energizes me. Being able to spend time with some of my favorite people remind me that there is hope in humanity. And so I think just like spreading joy is moment to moment. I think like reserving those quiet moments for yourself is just as important, but it has to be intentional. So, yeah.
Quick question here as well. Would you mind sharing a little bit about how you channel your own creativity outside of or adjacent to Hope Blooms? I know that a small business is very all-encompassing.
Yeah.
How maybe you've blossomed in your own creativity in the last 10 years or so.
Yeah. I guess the most creativity that really speaks to me, I'm sorry, still has to do with flowers. I have started now because like Hope Blooms is obviously, you know, what I get to do as, you know, as my job, but I have my own garden has like really grown. And that was something that like, I've always had flowers, but I haven't necessarily had like, I was always like apprehensive to cut them, which, sorry, like donate your garden flowers to me, but I don't want to cut mine. Yeah. And so my garden, and I found a lot of joy in like just expanding my own garden and actually cutting the flowers. So one of my favorite things to do is when I'm going to like meet someone or a friend in the summer, is just bringing them a surprise bouquet that actually has nothing to do with Hope Blooms. So it's just made an impression on my life as well. So I would say that's the most creative. Also creative ways to drown out the noise at my house. I sometimes wear headphones when my kids are bothering me. So I feel like that's very creative. I sometimes have dinner in the closet if it really gets crazy. So it's not always hands-on creativity. Yeah.
That's real. That's so real.
I think one thing also you do, Kelly, that maybe you could share a little bit more about is also the programming that Hope Blooms shares with the community as far as projects and getting people involved and group involvement and teamwork and team building, I think is really important.
Yeah. So thanks, Donna. Donna's actually she's on our board, so that was like a plant, probably. Thank you, Donna. So we do programming, obviously, outside of our mission, the 2 programs that that participants benefit from. But also, we have a very large community engagement program at Hope Blooms, and I have a couple of volunteers in the room who are lead volunteers that help us run some of those events. So we have about 2,500 volunteers that come through our doors every year to help spread joy to our neighbors in need. And so we offer opportunities for individuals. We try to, onesie, twosies, we really want to be able to have a place for everyone in the way that they, what feels good to them in their service. And so all those opportunities are out on our website for people to sign up. But then we also offer opportunities for groups to come in and engage as a group, whether that's a youth group or that is a team looking to do something fun. And we've had people come in and say, we've worked together for 5 years, and the hour and a half we've been here, we have learned more about each other. And so I think like there's an inherent value in what we're doing from an acute community engagement aspect as well, in that I haven't met anyone that's in a worse mood after they've come to Hope Blooms. It's a very joyful and vibrant environment, and I'd like to think when people people leave, they feel uplifted, and the next 5 people they see are the direct beneficiaries of that joy that we were able to help create.
Hi, good morning. I'm Annie. I've visited your shop, and I just really love the way you've brought Hope Bloom's branding into what could have been kind of like a cold warehousey space. Do you want to talk about the process of designing that space and really infusing it with your brand?
Yes. Thank you for that question. We had the unique opportunity 3 years ago to move out of our space. So there was construction. So we actually were at the old Come and Go gas station for 5 months, the one on 13th in that little strip mall. So we're just really spreading joy everywhere. But when we had the opportunity to, with that, get basically like a remodel gifted to us. And so just really wanted to think about like, what is the experience when people come through our doors? How have people experienced our mission so far? And then try to infuse a little bit of that into the overall look and feel of the shop. And you guys, I didn't know this was going to be a question, but the designer of our huge mural at Hope Blooms is sitting right here, Shelby Zach, who donated. She donated her time. We really talked a lot about like our mission had come. We turned 9 in July, so we've been back in that space for about 3 years. So it was an opportunity after about 6 years for us to say, like, are there ways that we can enhance the brand along with like this space? And so just sharing a little bit of that vision with Shelby and saying like, can you create a huge, beautiful mural? We went back and forth on a lot of different things, but really trying to say like, how can we tell our story when people come in? And I just totally credit her to creating this beautiful, vibrant mural. And then she, traced it on this wall and did like a paint by number so we could have a bunch of community members come in and paint it. And so I'm just trying to be intentional and thinking about, after some time of service, how have we seen this reflected in our mission in the eyes of those that we serve and the people who serve our mission? And so that's what came out of it.
What can we do to support you?
Thank you. I think number one is just like spread the word about us. We are 100% organic in our growth in word of mouth. And so tell people who are having flowers, tell people who want to get engaged in the community. We also use a whole bunch of supplies, so you could donate supplies to us, paper towels, all kinds of things. We have a wish list on our website. And of course, we're 100% community funded, and this would not exist without our beautiful community coming together and supporting it. So Evan from Giving Hearts Day. Giving Hearts Day is one of our biggest fundraisers, but of course you can share your time, talent, and treasure with us anytime you're around. And we would be just so grateful to engage you in our mission. So.
And then lastly, can you plug your website, your socials, anything that people can find you to stay connected?
Yeah, so hopeblooms.org. You can find all the info